Coming up right next is the good news segment. Stay with me.
Good news.
Good news.
Good news.
Good news.
Well, today on Good News, we're going for two good stories. And the first one we'll start on it is actually happening in Burkina Faso, where some refugees have been provided with light and power and the transformation that is actually brought to their lives.
Okay.
I mean, we have over 10,000 refugees from the Godobo camp in Burkina Faso who've actually been impacted by the introduction of light and power. And for them, initially, they actually used to have issues with power because they were isolated from the national grid and they lacked reliable access to sustainable power.
Okay.
And then they started searching for alternative means to get power, which
Right.
resulted in some of them using dirty and unhealthy or dangerous fuels just to be able to have lights.
All right. Why were they separated from the national grid? Aren't they part of the country?
Well, they are, but then those days when it grew out of political and military unrest, which happened in Mali in January 2012, that's when it started. It led to a lot of more like a mass exodus of civilians who were running into Burkina
So they're not.
Faso.
So they're
Not necessarily
okay.
refugees.
Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah, I missed that one. Okay. Great.
Okay, now one thing is the demand for energy there is high because if you have over 10,000 people, that's
Yeah, that's
That's
a
a lot of
significant
people.
figure. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a lot of people. And I mean, the camp is just offering a potential customer base of 2,000 households. And that is worth about $270,000 a
Right.
year. And out of the over 10,000, let's just stick with 10,000. They just can't do for 2,000. That means 8,000 people
Okay.
won't have access to power. And then that becomes a problem for them.
Big
Also,
one.
the cost of energy is high for the people who have been displaced. So then, I mean, firewood will be used for cooking. You have
Yeah.
about 65% of all of them spending their money on firewood because they need to cook. And they have about 30% of them using it on charcoal. And then batteries for radios and lighting. You know, car batteries. You take
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you connect the cables to the terminals,
Yeah,
and then
to
it gives
provide
you that thing.
electricity.
Yes.
That's another. So these are two dangerous issues. First of all, you people are cutting trees for charcoal, firewood, and what have you, and then batteries and everything. Not safe at all.
And I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
it's causing the numbers when it comes to the health and safety tools actually alarmingly high
Oh,
because there's
yeah.
pollution
Yeah.
from cooking
True.
indoors, from the firewood, and then the charcoal. And this causes health issues, especially for the women.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, they're the ones blowing and fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We used to do. I used to do that.
I
But
wonder why.
it was
I wonder
fun
why
then.
you women sometimes do that. Well, some women.
It lights up when you.
So the internal increases or has
No,
more efficient.
you've seen that there's an amount of
efficient way.
you've seen there's an amount of fire in there, but then it's not catching like lighting the others. So you keep blowing at it. So then the more you blow, then it starts lighting, and then it spreads to the others. Then immediately it gets to the others, you stop because then now you know that it can actually get onto the rest. So it's like you're just trying to hold on to the heart of the fire.
Yeah, someone said the meal becomes more palatable if you do that. I wonder which philosophy.
I think the smoke in the food makes it. It's when you
Yeah, there's
taste
this there's
food,
this thing. There's
when you
this
taste jollof that
uniqueness.
has smoke in it, it's
There's something else, huh?
Yeah.
But it's not advisable to go get a charcoal. Please don't cut trees.
It's not.
Don't not
it's
cut
not,
trees.
It's
Okay.
not advisable, and
Great.
this is causing a lot of problems because the women who are exposed to these
Oh yeah,
things,
side
their
effects.
health,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And already they have heavy domestic burdens that they have to deal with, and
Exactly.
also due to the lack of light, there was quite a number of cases of gender-based violence that was taking place in some of the camps. So
Oh dear.
it's a good thing. Now they're called Practical Action. They're an organization. They work with the indigents of places.
Okay.
Practical action to actually bring practical solutions to the
Okay.
problems that you're facing no matter where you find yourself. So what they did was they came together because they realized after speaking to the people, they realized most of them would love to purchase low carbon stoves
Okay.
and then lights. But then there's poor access to it. They can't have it and there's a lack of funding. So then let's just rely on the dirty and expensive ways of getting it. So Practical Action brought about an indigenous solution. So they actually work with private sectors to design and implement innovative market-based solutions. And this they did by cooperating with the host governments
Okay.
and some national NGOs.
Right.
And then they improved. You know, you have to work with evidence. Prove this, prove that,
Yeah.
show this, yes. And then they had to go through original research also to show to the people that there's something that's happening.
Okay.
Then they brought their solution. They did the try and error, the test and everything,
Right.
both in the camps and in the host communities, and it passed out.
Nice.
It passed out. So some of the things they were able to do was to implement the low carbon energy project for refugee camp and the host communities of Godobu.
Okay.
And then this they did by installing a solar powered water pump. So this
Right.
replaced the diesel based generator. And if you know, the only thing I think I like about the generator is when you're sparking it.
Really?
Draw the
no,
thing.
that's work.
Draw the thing.
That's too much.
Draw the
That's too
thing.
much energy exerting on one little machine.
Yeah,
The
but that's-
gasoline, yes.
Yeah, that
Need to tie the
that,
rope and
that one
start
is not.
pulling.
That one is not work. That one is easier. The one that is work is the big one. We used to have a very big one, and that one, I don't know. There's something like a spanner, and then it's a bit curved. So there's this knob in the middle. You put it in it, lock it. Then you have to turn with your whole arm, and as you're turning, then it will start. So they start turning faster, then it start kicking up.
But
Then
that's
it
easier.
goes
But
like that.
this one until you have
No,
that
this one you
energy.
this one yes, this one you just draw, but this one you have to keep turning, and this is a heavy
you
duty
draw
machine.
with force. You don't just draw.
And this one you also
draw
have
with
to
force.
turn with. That thing is stuck.
But that
It's
one
a
is
hard-
even I think easier.
No,
you keep,
I think you should
keep
try turning
winding
it.
and winding
No, you should
and
keep
winding.
trying one. You should meet one and try it. It's not like modernized. You turn it. No,
Okay.
your muscle is the one actually doing the turning of the machine. So if you don't turn well, it won't start.
All this
And until you establish the rhythm, it doesn't start.
all this trouble, man, just to get light. Oh dear.
So they've replaced their water pump with a solar powered one,
Okay.
which costs less and it's environmentally friendly as well. Now it supplies the 10,000 residents of the Godobu camp. They've also installed solar powered irrigation systems for the vegetable farmers.
Okay.
And then we have people who produce different sort of fruits and vegetables there. So they provide them with solar powered irrigation systems. So that means they don't have to run dry on water. And then the girls will spend time going to carry it and bring it, or the boys will go. No.
Right.
They also built an energy service center that provides several businesses with fully equipped solar powered facilities.
Okay.
So you can access electricity 24 hours a day there for free.
Wow.
This for me was great. If you know what it is to be in darkness and then you get light, it's like hallelujah. So I think it's a good thing
Yeah.
having about 10,000 people having access to light, having access to water.
Right.
I mean, just opening them up to energy and power in a clean and safe way. This is going to cut down the rising numbers of people who are getting, especially the women who are getting sick due to inhaling all the smoke.
Yep.
And all those things. I mean, you're cooking indoors with firewood. Imagine a fabric just gets
Yeah.
into it.
Sparks, and that's another story again.
It's just
Okay.
disturbing. So I think
Yeah,
it's a good thing
It
that
is.
they did. Yes,
Kudos,
I'm very
kudos
happy.
to
Yes.
the practical what? Solution?
Practical action.
I was about to say practical. Yeah, the tongue having issues there. But yeah, practical action, kudos, and a great job. Okay.
Now, the next story is about how a black-owned tea company started from an ADHD diagnosis.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So it's called Greenhouse Tea. Probably
Okay.
you're out there, you've been drinking it, you don't know, what it is or who it's actually black-owned.
Okay.
And yes, it's actually it's a family brand. It's gained following after one of the actresses, Tina Mowry, actually took it and she said, "Oh, it was good." And she used it during a fast she actually did. But then how
A
it
fast?
started, yeah.
She
some
fasted
some
with
people
it?
fast, but then they only drink tea. Some people fast, they only take
okay.
fruits. Some people
Right.
fast, they only take juices. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, just to detoxify their bodies.
Right.
So the whole thing started when Venny happens to be the founder. His 7-year-old son was actually diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. That's ADHD.
Yeah.
And a neurologist suggested that the boy should drink 2 ounces of green tea 30 minutes before he had a big test. So at least it could keep him stable, he could focus and, write and be able to go through.
Yeah.
Now, the rationale, like I said, was to keep him focused.
Okay.
But then the same thing was if he did that, he wouldn't have to take the side effects of having to take medicine, some medications, because I mean, most people take medication to be able to maintain focus and all that. What they don't realize is, as this continues to pile up in your body,
Okay.
it builds up side effects for you, which
Right.
you might not know, and probably you may not be told.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you're like, oh, I'm just taking this to keep me focused. And you start twitching in a certain way, you start acting in a certain way, you don't know why. But then it's like some of the medicines actually, they don't just keep you focused, they actually change your behavior.
Okay.
They keep you in a certain way. So Venny didn't want his 7-year-old son to actually go to medication. So the neurologist suggested take green tea. They tried a green tea on the market. It tasted horrible. The boy couldn't take it. He didn't like it. And he didn't want anything to do with it. So then they thought, okay, what can we do? I mean, let's put sugar in it. He still didn't like it. Let's add honey. He didn't. So they tried it themselves and it tasted ill for them. They didn't like it themselves. So they wondered how a 7-year-old boy would actually like it.
Yeah.
So that set him to think, what can I do to actually get my son to take something that would help him and keep him going?
Okay.
So then he started researching, looking for what can do, the health benefits, different things. Eventually, he landed on a blend that he combined green tea with lemon verbena, lemongrass, and lavender. And that just did the magic for the boy.
Okay. Interesting. Right.
I mean, they gave it to him. He loved it. He drank it every day. It was something, it's like his favorite tea.
Okay.
He doesn't get midday crashes or jitters like that again. He's able to focus and stuff. Now, it didn't cure him.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't cure him, but it gave him an additional edge to remain focused.
Okay.
And it could help him without necessarily giving him side effects if he went for medication.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And Venny is something is he's actually focused on looking for natural remedies to solving issues instead of using these orthodox ways. Just
Okay.
go for everything medication. Because for him, he was raised by a single mother,
Okay.
and his mom had actually seen the side effect of what happened. Because actually, the mom used to see, she worked in a hospital. So she could tell the side effects. She could look at people and say, okay, this medicine is what's giving you this. This drug is what's doing this to you.
Okay.
But then because we're using it to solve this problem, we're not telling you this is the side effect is that bad.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And people get addicted. So it's like every minute you have to pop a pill. Every minute you have to pop a pill to stay focused to do this. And it becomes part of you. All that thing piling up in you is not necessarily good for your body. So she tried to teach Venny that in every case, he should look for the natural means, the alternative way, instead of just going straight to medication.
Okay.
And that was something he sought to do. He himself had suffered from chronic anxiety for like a year. He didn't try his mother's method. He tried popping pills. He got
Okay.
addicted and realized it wasn't helping him. Then he tried to start moving to the natural way. So if you're drinking greenhouse tea out there, you should know that it's black owned, and also know that this is the story behind it. Venny was just trying to find a way to help his son.
Okay.
And that is what
Ended
has
up
brought about
helping
yes.
others, huh?
Yes.
Great.
Well, that's all
Okay.
we have for good news.
Interesting. Life-changing bits right there. Getting people to have access to electricity, water, and what have you. Kudos. Trying to save your boy. Well, now it's like everybody gets to benefit from that as well. Amazing.